Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Hall County Sports Television. I'm your host, Garry Glenn. We start this week's show with wrestling, and it was another huge crowd on hand as the wrestling season ended with the traditional state championships at the Gwinnett Arena this past weekend. Governor Nathan Deal and the state's First Lady Sandra Deal were on hand to pose with the Hall of Fame members, and then later sat for a while with Chastity assistant and Hall of Famer Paul White. Paul's also on the board of directors of the Georgia chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. I'd be a bit surprised if he didn't bend the governor's ear about how great it would be if our state could host an NCAA championship sometime in the near future. Now on the mat, Taylor Wright of Chastity joined the 100 Wins Club with a victory in the 152-pound class in the first round of state, but 132-pounder Nick Lankford of Flowery Branch was the only one out of our local boys who wrestled for a state title. He got there with narrow wins in the quarters and semis, 3-2 in the quarterfinals over Ulysses Ponce of Rockdale County, and 4-2 over Ryan Cole of Paulding County in the semifinals. Now he faced Michael Neelums of Lambert for the Quad A championship and quickly fell behind at 1.41. Well, Nick battled back to 4-3, then got the benefit of a stalling call on Neelums, which tied it at 4-all. Langford started the last period on top. Towards the end, turned Neelums over for a 2-point near fall, went up 6-4, and hung on to that for the title, the second in his career after winning in AAA a couple of years ago. Afterwards, we had a chance to talk to him and his coach, Shane Millwood.
Score is 4-6, and he got the first 2 takedowns. Kind of discouraged me, but just battled back and had to be a monster on top and start turning. And worked out in my favor.
What'd you think when you got those first 2? Looked like you were in trouble. Yeah. And then you got back into it and you got the stalling call.
After I got that stalling call, I was just like, yes, it's tied up. Now I just need to be 2 backs. But then again, the coach just told me just work tight waist tilts, and that's all I did. He got me a tight waist tilt at the end to win.
Now you've been sick. You finished second, at
second at area
and second at sectionals. But how does it feel to come back after finishing runner-up twice and win it all?
Well, I've been just battling. It sucks finishing second, knowing that you're right there just at it. But I just had to put it all on the mat last tournament and came out in my favor.
How do you compare this one with the one you won a couple of years ago? Was this one a lot tougher?
This one was about the same toughness. The last time I never beat the guy, like 7 times in a row he beat me. This time is just tough, man. Tough battle. So it was pretty tough. He hit both ones.
You had a tough tournament, Nick. I mean, you survived a couple of squeakers in the quarters and semis.
Yeah, we have probably the number 2 toughest bracket in the state right now. 38 at AAA would probably be the toughest in my opinion. And I'd put our second.
So what did it for you there at the end? How did you dig down and come out with it?
I was grinding it out, working for that turn. I felt him turning a couple times. I just needed to get that last little turn in. Finally got it.
Congratulations, Coach. How's it feel to have a guy here?
Awesome. I mean, not just Nick, but all the other guys that came and wrestled. This is a tough tournament. Even now, we have a tough area, and then our sectional is just probably the best in the entire state. And just to make it here just proves, what those guys are all about. Just sticking it out and doing their absolute best. And then just hats off to Nick and our other senior, Caleb Murphy, for being that example. They're not very vocal, but they do leave it on the mat, and that's how they lead. And I'm very proud of it. I couldn't be more happier for Nick to send him to Newberry College, on a full ride for wrestling. He deserves it. He works harder than any kid I've ever known, and he truly is. He itemizes what we want in a kid at Flowery Branch. So my hat's off to him.
You may remember that Nick Lankford was with us as the most outstanding wrestler of the prestigious Panther Invitational Wrestling Tournament at the very first of the season, and only fitting he helps us put a lid on wrestling for this season, right? Well, besides Lankford's first, the next highest local finish came from Riverside's Chris Harvey, who was 3rd in the single A 120-pound class.
All right, Chris, I know it's not exactly the color medal you wanted, bronze instead of a gold, but have to be fairly well satisfied with the way it went.
Yes, sir. It's under 2 state champions, previous state champions. Last year I went from not even going to state to coming in 3rd, and it's a great experience, and I love being here. I've got a whole nother year ahead of me, and I'm going to be training all summer for next year. So I'm excited, and I'm proud of what I'm bringing home.
Made you hungry, huh?
Yes, sir.
Harvey's Riverside Military Academy teammate Nick Thompson wound up 4th at 138 pounds. In AAA, North Hall's Andy Voss also picked up a fourth at 132 pounds. At 138, Tyler Kratzer of the North Hall Trojans, fifth. Dylan Brock of Chestatee also fifth at 195 pounds. And North Hall's Cam Howell wrestled his way to fifth at 220 pounds. Now, the Trojans are also the highest finishing Hall County team, tied for 11th in AAA with McNair. Heritage Catoosa won that class. Now, other winners were Collins Hill in 5A, Pope in Quad A, Bremen in Single A, and in AA. Jefferson continued its amazing streak with its 12th straight traditional state championship with a withering domination of that class. Dragon coach Doug Thurman was once the Johnson coach here in Hall County, and Doug's quoted in the Times as saying, "Yeah, we won again, and no, it doesn't get old." As for next year now, with the Georgia High School Association reorganization, there will be 6 classes wrestling, and the arena at Gwinnett may not be available for the wrestling. Seems the circus is in town that week in 2013. Stay tuned as to how it all plays out. The top dog was in town last week. That story when we return. This program is also brought to you by Long Street Cafe, now with 2 locations in Gainesville, 1043 Riverside Terrace and 405 Pearl Nicks Parkway. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Monday through Saturday. Long Street's got the reputation for Gainesville's fastest drive-through and the best fried chicken you'll ever sink your teeth into, plus veggies, a full salad bar, and great desserts. Check today's menu at www.longstreetcafe.com. Call a friend and meet them for a hearty meal at Long Street Cafe, where they put the home in the cooking.
There are hundreds of options when choosing apparel or promotional items at J. Geyer Advertising and the Trophy Case. We're all about quality and competitive pricing. Sports items are in stock. Look for special pricing on Letterman jackets, corporate apparel, corporate gifts, and custom embroidery. All local high schools should check out the line of spirit wear and trophies. We're also offering custom screen printing available for any team sport. Be on the winning side when you choose J. Geyer Advertising and the Trophy Case, locally owned and operated at 250 Dawsonville Highway, Gainesville. Call 770-718-0062 or on the web at jgeyer.com and trophycaseltd.com.
Well, it was a night of fun and fundraising, along with a goodly dose of the gospel last Thursday night as the Fellowship of Christian Athletes welcomed Georgia head football coach Mark Richt to town. Even Governor Nathan Deal of Gainesville, who was kind of all over the place last week, made an appearance and gave the invocation and blessing before the crowd of several hundred, which also heard testimony from North Hall football basketball player Imani Cross, Chestatee cross-country runner Paige Williams, West Hall basketball player Jarlissa Lattimore, and Lakeview football coach Matthew Groom. FCA Director Jason Lester told the crowd it was not about him, Richt, or even the FCA. It was about Jesus. Richt himself echoed those sentiments, but did joke with the crowd about looking up a website dealing with a hot seat the season after they'd wound up ranked as high as number 2 and feeling pretty good. He said he didn't have to look it up after Georgia was 6-7 in 2010 because he went to church, people would say, "I'm praying for you, brother." He also remarked with tongue firmly in cheek that after Georgia started 0-2 this past season, people would come up to him and say, "I'm fasting for you, brother." Now, before sharing his testimony with the crowd, Rick met about 100 local folks for autographs and pictures, then took time to discuss some other things with me and David Mitchell of the Times. Topics ranged from Hall County athletes like Sterling Bailey of East Hall and Chase Vassar of Chestatee on the Bulldog team, to the recruiting class of 2012, even to handling discipline issues such as the recent suspension for 2 games of cornerback Sanders Cummings. He says he enjoys meeting the fans and speaking to gatherings put on by the FCA.
Well, actually, it's not part of the job. I mean, I don't have to speak at an FCA event, but I enjoy doing it and like to, spread the gospel as much as possible. And of course, you run into a bunch of good Bulldog fans too, which is great.
You go back a long way with the FCA, don't you?
Well, yes. Gosh, early in my coaching career, I had opportunities to go to Black Mountain and really grew there, and been to all kind of events over the years, but really believe in what FCA is doing.
Well, let's talk a little Georgia football now. The recruiting class that you just got, how would you rate it?
Well, I like them. I like every one of them. Be interesting. You just, signing day is an exciting day. I mean, so many kids across the country get a chance to go to college and get their degree and get to play some ball, and so it's an exciting time really all around the country. But we're particularly excited about the ones we signed, and can't wait to get them on campus and see how it goes. It certainly takes a little bit of time for some of the guys to get to where they can make an impact, but some of them show up and make an impact right away.
Combining the two topics with the FCA and then recruiting, I know you got to go to church with Josh Harvey Clemens. Let's talk about that. What does that say about him as an athlete and as a person?
Yeah,
that's
well,
where we want to see you to go.
Right. Well, we just happened to be on the official visit. The night we came was a Wednesday night, so they normally go to church, and instead of skipping church that night, they invited me if I would want to go to church with them, and so I got an opportunity to do that and
cool
enjoyed that very much. Well, I love going to visit different churches across the country or across the state, and certainly enjoyed that night.
Mm-hmm. If you had a priority going into the spring practice, what would it be?
Well, you hear it all the time, but fundamentally we got to get better at everything we do, blocking and tackling and covering kicks and just the little things that make you good. If you don't have a good foundation of great fundamentals, then no matter what scheme you have, you're probably not going to be very good at it. You can scheme it up real good and get everybody in position, but if they can't physically get a guy on the ground or block like they should, then all those schemes aren't very good. So fundamentals is big, and competition is big, and just beginning to build the camaraderie of a new team.
You kind of alluded to this earlier. Do you expect some of the freshmen to make an immediate impact? Will they be put in there?
Well, if they're ready, they will. We hope they will. Gosh, I've been doing about going into 12 seasons now, and every year I've been at Georgia, there's always been a freshman or two or three or four, that have come in and won jobs, and there's usually about half of them that make a very significant contribution to the team.
Going into this season, it's higher expectations than y'all had in the last few years. How do you guys cope with those expectations?
Yeah, well, you work hard. You try to earn the expectations with how you played the season before and who you've got returning and all those types of things. But we got to earn it all over again. And preseason rankings don't really mean a whole lot other than what people think might happen, and the goal is to do just as well or better than they're predicting for you.
What about some of the kids from Hall County that you still got on the team down there?
Well, you know what? We love all our guys. We're proud of everybody that comes in our program, and
thinking like Vassar and Sterling Bailey and people like that.
Yeah, well, Chase is a guy who's battling for more and more playing time as time goes on, scrimmage downs, and it's been helpful on special teams. And Sterling, we're not quite sure what Sterling can do yet. It was redshirted last year and has a little bit of surgery in the off season to get cleaned up, get him real healthy, and see how he can contribute. But we're expecting those guys to absolutely make a difference for us before it's over.
The discipline seems to have picked up a little bit, although you had to make something happen just very recently, but that seems to be a better thing.
Well, yeah, the bottom line is, young men at times are going to make mistakes, and if they do, we've got to discipline it properly, and I feel like we've done that over the years. A lot of times guys make mistakes and learn from it and be able to continue on at Georgia and do great, and then every once in a while there's a time where the young man maybe has lost his opportunity to be with us. But the goal is to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. We call it the Georgia way, and if they do it that way, they got a good chance of doing great things. And if they don't, they either have to learn it or find somewhere else to go.
Always exciting to be a Bulldog, Coach.
Absolutely.
Now, for your information, this year's G-Day game is set for Saturday, April 14th. The season opens for real next fall as the Dogs host the Buffalo Bulls on September 1st. By the way, if you'd like to donate to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, you can visit their website at fca.org or email Jason at jlester@fca.org. We take it to the hoop when we return.
There are moments in life that you wish would last forever. Dreams that really do come true. Treasures worth protecting. And a future to prepare for. Turner Wood & Smith is with you every step of the way. Established in the Gainesville area in 1905. Turner Wood & Smith has become Northeast Georgia's largest independent insurance agency by offering professional service at competitive prices. Turner Wood & Smith, insuring your future since 1905.
Hi, I'm Rob Bruce. I'm the pastor here at McEver Road United Methodist Church. And I was thinking this morning about how complicated life is. We have a lot of choices to make in life and not a whole lot of guidelines to do it sometimes. It's like being a parent. You know, I'd hoped when I was a parent that our kids would come into the world with their instructions printed on their bottom, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. And parenting is so much guesswork. I'm amazed that we hear so many people talk on TV, and we can go into the bookstores and see the books and the folks on TVs that have all the answers, but you and I know that they don't have all the answers. And the answers aren't as simple as they tell us sometimes, that all you have to do is smile just right or say this thing or feed your children this and everything will be all right. You know, Jesus gathered with his followers after he was raised from the dead on a mountain in Galilee. And in Matthew 28, it tells us in verse 17 that even then some doubted. And I think that's interesting that the church was formed with some doubt in it. We don't have all the answers. We have some answers, but we don't have all of them. And if you'd like to be part of a community that doesn't have all the answers, but that can help you be at peace with the questions, well, then we invite you to join us at McEver Road. We invite you to come by and visit us at one of our worship services. Won't you come and see?
We're back. I'm Garry Glenn. This is Hall County Sports. High school basketball, region tournament time last week. Let's go to AAA and ladies first. After some preliminary success, West Hall was sent home by Chester T 45-36 as the Lady War Eagles got 18 from Megan Kinnemer, and they played for the region title for the first time in school history after a 47-39 win over Oconee County. Kinnemer had 14 in that win as they went up against North Hall for the region championship. They lost 42-29. Now, the Lady Trojans had not won the region title since 1991 when present coach Kristi House was a player on that team. McKenna Rushton had 18 points while Megan Kinnemer scored 14 for Chester T before fouling out. Now, earlier in the tournament, Taylor Swazowski put her grief aside from dealing with a death in the family and led the Lady Trojans with 18 points, 17 in the second half, as North Hall beat the Walnut Grove girls 57-46. Mary Kate Rushton chipped in 12, while McKenna Rushton added 9 points and grabbed a dozen rebounds for the Lady Trojans. And then North Hall beat Gainesville 46-31 to set up that showdown with Chester T. Sydney Cleveland led with 13. Mary Kate added 11. Swazowski with 7 points and 8 assists. Hunter Pugh had 11 for Gainesville, who earlier had beaten Stevens County 34-22, as Rebecca Webster led the Lady Elephants with 14. And in the battle for third, Gainesville's girls lost a 2-point heartbreaker, 56-54 to Oconee County, and finished fourth. Hunter Pugh had 19 for GHS in that loss. We bring to the show now Coach Kristi House, who's been with us before. But Kristi, first of all, congratulations on the region championship.
Thank you.
Long time coming.
It was.
I mentioned the fact that, and it's kind of unusual, the last time North Hall won a girls' region championship, you were a player.
That's right.
Who was your coach?
Coach was Gene Foster.
Gene Foster.
The legend.
Well.
Yes.
Absolutely,
yes.
absolutely. So how does it feel? How is it different?
Well, really the other one was so long ago, it's hard to even remember that. But to me, just with my kids and our team, the way I care about these seniors, for them to have this last opportunity to do that and for them to have something that they can remember and hang on to for the rest of their life, it's just really special.
Now, the Rushton twins continue to be big.
Yep. And
so did Taylor Swazowski.
Yes. Taylor played great, and our freshman Sydney Cleveland came in, played great again. Our post player Sarah Pascal, we had our other senior Halen Nichols came in with some key defensive plays. I mean, we played a lot of people that night, and it was just a, team effort. But those seniors really stepped up for us.
Taylor was playing under a little bit of duress. Wasn't she? Had a death in the family.
She did. She had a death in the family last week, and in our first round tournament game, the day of the funeral, she played, and at halftime, we were only up 1. I think she came out and had 17 points in the second half and really just put our team on her back, and it was just a special night.
I heard some of the game coming home from the wrestling tournament. It was on the radio, and I was listening to it. It looks like you guys played some awesome defense. You must have shut them down.
Well, we have really tried to talk about that. We've played Chester, 4 times this season. It was our 4th time, and everybody always says, the 3rd time it's so hard. 4th time, even harder, unthinkable. But we really just talked about defending their 3, making them work hard for every single thing they get, and hopefully, our shots will fall and we can come out on top.
When you think back on this season, Kristi, what's going to be the most pleasing thing about it? I mean, championships are nice, but there's probably some intangible things that's going to be.
There is. And, just being involved with the kids in the program. We've been together 4 years with this group of seniors, and that's kind of a special thing to have that many and have that many kids that have stuck through the program for 4 years. And so it's really been a personal year for everybody. We've really turned into a family pretty much, and so that's going to be what I remember. I'll may remember the wins, may not, but I know I'll remember the people and the girls on the team.
So this weekend you get to host a state tournament game, and it's going to be Pickens.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, we played Pickens, twice in December. It was early, and we were lucky to be able to win both those games. But I know they're playing better. Everybody's playing good this time of year, so we just hope to continue with our intensity and get better this week in preparation for the weekend.
All right, Kristi.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations, Lady Trojans, region champs.
Thank you.
That's something you always hang your hat on.
Yes,
all right,
thank you.
Turning to 8AA, didn't come easy for East Hall's girls in the region tournament. They qualified for the state tourney with a narrow 46-43 win over Dawson County. Morgan Jackson led the Lady Vikings with 17. Lady Vikes earned the title game with a 47-38 win over Union County. Jasmine Jenkins scored 15 and Jackson 14 for the Lady Vikings. East Hall's ladies then edged North Hall County 52-51 for the region championship as Jenkins hit the tying layup and winning free throw towards the end of the game, and she led all scorers with 17. Turning to the 8 Quad A tournament, Kara Chilton led Flowery Branch's Lady Falcons to a 44-43 win against Heritage with 12 points, and Marissa Ivy had 11 in that game. Lady Falcons got 14 from Tavia Sykes and 13 from J.C. Ramey in a 38-31 loss to Salem. The Branch girls then bounced back to place third in 8 Quad A with a 63-51 win over Clark Central. Ivy had 19, and Ramey had 18 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. In 8 Single A, Lakeview's girls advanced with a narrow 44-41 win over Hebron Christian. Taylor Handy scored 16 for the Lady Lions. The Lakeview girls then played for third after a 57-48 loss to George Walton, despite a game-leading 25 from Kelsey Gilbert. Lady Lions won third over Athens Academy, 34-29, led by a dozen each from Kaylee McClendon and Taylor Handy. Congratulations to North Georgia Christian Schools girls. They beat Praise Academy 34-30 as the Lady Chargers advanced to the Independent Christian Schools of Georgia and Alabama 1A state finals in Columbus. Kayla Goodson with 11 in that win. And then NGC squeezed by Cumberland Christian 32-31 for the championship. Nicole Ball and Julianne Sutton each scored 8 points as the North Georgia Christian girls won the championship last Saturday at Columbus State University. With the win, the Lady Chargers now have 2 Georgia ICSGA championships in the past 3 seasons. Congratulations to them. Now, let's go to the boys. After ending West Hall's boys season, Lumpkin fell to North Hall 55-54. Ebo Smith with 15 points for the Trojans, while Imani Cross had 8 points and 6 rebounds. On the night, the Trojans won the Battle of the Boards 28-19. Franklin County ended the Gainesville boys season 50-47. Lance White with 18 and Shaquan Cantrell a dozen points in the loss. North Hall boys then rolled Franklin County 57-25, Ebo scoring 17. The Trojans would wind up second in 8 AAA though, with a 57-51 loss to Walnut Grove, the team which had eliminated Johnson earlier in the tournament. Ebo scored 17 in that loss in the championship game. Going to 8 AA, Chris Orr led the East Hall boys with 18 points in the 74-31 win against Union County in the Region 8 AA tournament quarterfinals. In the semis, the Vikings, though, were upset 71-59 by Dawson County, despite 30 from J.C. Hampton. Hampton scored 32, including a near half-court 3 at the half, as East Hall recovered, beat Rabun County 85-70 for third in the region. Dawson won it. In 8 Single A, Lakeview's boys beat George Walton 67-57. Austin Montgomery had 29 points. The Lions played for the region championship after a 72-56 shellacking of Hebron Christian in the semifinals. Austin Pearson with 17 to lead the scoring in that game. The Lions then fell to Nemesis Athens Christian 73-65 in the 8 Single A title game. Pearson led the Lions with 19 points, but he only hit 2 of 12 three-pointers. We wrap it up when Hall County Sports concludes after these messages. Hall County Sports is brought to you in part by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals. And remember, when you go Green Ford. By Mountain View Auto Repair, a full-service shop for all of your automotive needs. Call Danny at Mountain View Auto Repair at 770-535-7278. And by McKelvey Road United Methodist Church. Visit us on McKelvey Road in Oakwood with 3 worship services every Sunday morning, Kids Town and adult small groups. McKelvey Road United Methodist Church is dedicated to transforming the world through the good news of Jesus Christ. Springtime sports getting in full swing now. Some soccer highlights from last week. Flowery Branch's girls off to an unbeaten start. Cassidy Elrod scoring both goals as the Branch beat the Gainesville girls 2-0. Lauren Dunn got the shutout in goal. The Branch girls then shut out West Hall 3-0. Corey Thomas with 2 goals for the Lady Falcons. Dunn recorded 11 saves in the shutout for the Branch. Flowery Branch then shut out North Forsyth 3-0 as Julia Sankowitz had the hat trick. Staying with soccer, the Gainesville girls bounced back after the loss to the Branch, 11-1 over Lakeview Academy. Eliza Carpenter and Hartley Carter each scored a hat trick for the Lady Red Elephants, and Anna Hummels had 3 assists. Chesterton's girls beat Clark Central 5-0 as Alexis Rebelliard scored 4 goals. Miss Sandy Chavez had her first shutout in goal this season. Boys soccer, the Johnson boys shut out Northview 1-0. The Knights defense stellar, led by Michael Cave, Armando Abarca, Alexis Segovia, and Mario Aguinaga. 5-4 victory in penalty kicks. All 5 Johnson kickers converting their attempts in the shootout. Goalie Josh Martin recorded 15 saves for the Knights. East Hall boys beat up on Oglethorpe County 6-0. Julio Avila scoring a hat trick with an assist for the Vikings. Saul Lopez 2 goals and had an assist. Gainesville High School golfers finished 1-2 in the freshman-sophomore division of the Winter National Junior Series in Pinehurst, North Carolina. Grant Lester and Nathan Williams were tied at the end of regulation after Williams put on a Sunday charge, making up 3 shots over the last 3 holes. Grant, though, then won it in a playoff. Spencer Alston of the Red Elephants finished in a 4-way tie for 4th. So time now to name our athletes of the week. Fairly easy choice this week. For the males, Nick Lankford, the state Quad A wrestling champion at 132 pounds from Flowery Branch High School. And for the females, Jasmine Jenkins, the heroine of East Hall basketball's region title run. Okay, quickly now, some other stuff. Gainesville alumnus, now a Major League Baseball player, Micah Owings, who was a free agent after getting cut by Arizona, has caught on with the San Diego Padres. Micah also was at that FCA banquet the other night and took time out to talk with me about his new job.
Tell me about the signing with San Diego.
You know, after dealing with my agency, my representation, just analyzing the offers that were out there, ended up being the best opportunity, best fit, and you know, they stepped up down towards the end of negotiations and opened a roster spot for me, and really looking forward to it. It's a team that's just ready for the grind, ready to compete, ready to win now, and I saw that, and I'm anxious to get out there and leave Saturday, so get into the season.
Wow. Can you believe it's almost here, spring training?
I can. I start getting the itch after Christmas every year, so you know, been training hard and looking forward to another fun season.
Yeah, spring training is upon us. In fact, high school baseball actually began their season this week. Riverside Military Academy officials said this week that Gary Downs is returning to the school to take over as head football coach. He actually began his high school coaching career with the Eagles in 2003 as the running backs coach. Downs then went on to serve as offensive coordinator for Riverside from 2004 to 2006, a period during which the Eagles won the 2005 Georgia Independent Schools Association State Championship and played in the GHSA semifinals in 04 and 06. Dylan Martin, senior at North Hall High School, has signed on to play soccer in college. He'll be at Emmanuel College in Franklin Springs, Georgia. East Hall alumnus Seda Wheeler closed out the conference awards with her 6th Great South Atlantic Player of the Week honors. She led the Piedmont women in a come-from-behind 72-64 win over LaGrange with her 14th double-double of the season, 22 points and 12 rebounds, plus 5 block shots. Seda had 18 points, 14 rebounds, and 9 blocks last week, and an 86-43 doubling up of Covenant College. She leads the Lady Lions in scoring and rebounding by averaging a double-double, around 16 points and 12 boards a game. And finally, Gainesville grad Elizabeth Likens is now the women's swimming coach at UNC Asheville. As an assistant, she'd helped Florida Gulf Coast win 3 straight Coastal Collegiate Swimming Association championships. She was also an assistant at Georgia Southern and was an MVP and team captain when she swam for the College of Charleston. That's our show this week. Join us next week right here for more Hall County Sports. I'm Garry Glenn.